Yo. Bro gang, we are joined by the Righteous Raja, the Dine-In Don Dada, the Mastication Maestro, the Deep Voice Viking. You got B.O., he got V.O. Not playing tennis, but he got the bass lines. Call him Uncle Junior because he eat out. Never make a res at 7 because he ate. Call him Ellis Island how he's documenting these immigrants. Oh, you're not fucking with Righteous Eats? How about you Righteous Eat these nuts? Oh, you're not fucking with Jaeki Cho? How about you high-key chow down on these nuts? You Chugi, he chewy. Doesn't have a six-pack, but he's finding more hidden gems than De Beers. Keeps it thorough in every borough. Every meal fire like an inferno. Supporting spots of all stripes like Joe Burrow. Helping restaurateurs get more work, no furlough. Co-founder of Righteous Eats, content creator, Jaeki Cho. Jaeki, how the hell are you?
Yo, I had no idea you were going to turn it up like this, James. Yo.
how's my these munchies up?
How was my yo?
It was very solid. I'll give it like a solid 8 out of 10.
All right.
You know,
Improvement. Yo,
but now I had no. Is this how y'all do all your intros?
Yeah.
Wow. Sorry, I didn't do my Kumon, man, because I did not expect this. Like, because y'all were mad chill, and then as soon as y'all kicked it off, I didn't even know that y'all had like a whole manifesto just ready to.
Yeah, you were talking to James earlier when we were talking about our upbringings and everything. You were talking to James and Lawrence, but let me introduce you to Jimmy and Larry.
To be clear, as a white man, I do not have a manifesto. I want to get that on the record. Thank you, Jaeki.
Word.
How are you?
Yeah,
good.
Thanks for coming through, dog.
Thank you so much for having me. I actually didn't eat anything today.
Oh,
shit.
Yeah. I had a late night meal. I had a jerk chicken from Pepper's.
Ooh, Righteous.
Like 2 a.m.
It's like right here.
Nah. The OG location on Flatbush Avenue.
Okay.
You know, respectfully,
not the
cash
gentrification
only.
one. You're in the Lower Side.
I mean, you know, like those type of immigrant operations, I don't think they fully figured out like how to plan out like IP and rollout. So for instance, did y'all know like Kennedy Fried Chicken is not a real franchise?
Well, everyone is like individual, right?
Everyone is like a family member or member of the clan that got knighted and they just went off and did it. And I think that's a similar situation with Peppers, but don't quote me on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So late night jerking your chicken, how was it?
Oh, shit was delicious, man. You know what I mean? My wife, she's in Italy right now with the in-laws. And, you know, when she's home, she's not letting me go in at 2 a.m.
When the cat's away, the mice will jerk.
Pause. But yes, very much so.
Yeah, he needs his wife out of the country to jerk his chicken
in more ways than one.
100%, man. Yeah.
Jaeki, thank you so much for joining us, dude. As a former alumni, one of the first lifestyle boutiques in New York, I believe, right?
I mean, it was one of many.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But a first mover amongst some first movers.
Yeah. I think we had a pretty good selection. Yeah.
You are a stylish individual. People obviously know you for your palate, but we want to talk about your fit today with a little fit check. So why don't you just tell us everything real quick, what you're rocking?
Yo, I'm like so self-conscious in front of y'all two talking about my fit.
Stop it.
You know what I mean?
You should have worn that soccer jersey.
I should have worn the soccer jersey. And we would have just looked like tools, man. You know what I mean? Just all three of us.
Thursday Night League.
Right now I got hat from Kango. This is like the only silhouette that I rock because I got a huge dome. You know
how many
of
those do you have?
Fuck, I got like 25, 26 of these in different colors.
You ever do it backwards?
Never. Always direction is going front.
Forward,
you know what I mean?
movement.
Forward, never backward.
LL Cool Jaeki.
You know what I mean? And I got the shades from Bonnie and Clyde.
Spicy. I
you
like
know
those.
what I mean? This is from a brand called Guest in Residence.
Okay.
Gigi Hadid is the face of it.
Oh yeah, nice little casual.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It was
fucking
soft.
like
you know what
baby
I mean?
foreskin.
You know
Shout out to
Kid Merrill. My wife, she's the design director.
Oh wow.
So she's been with them since the very beginning when it was just being conceptualized. So
free 99.
I actually copped this, I believe. Wait, hold up. Maybe I didn't. I forgot. It could have been a sample, so let's keep it quiet on that one.
What about Kango? Is Kango sending you free caps?
did. Kango did send me a whole lot of caps. And the shirt, I believe, is from COS.
Yeah.
They got good products over there. The denim is from Nanamika.
Oh yeah.
You know
good shit.
And,
Nippon denim.
Yeah, Nippon denim. And the kicks are Wallabies.
Classics.
High or low?
Yeah. These are high. You know what I mean? So whenever the fall season kicks in, I feel like I need to kind of bring out the high Wallies.
Yeah, I get that.
Cover your ankles like a geisha.
Pretty much. Yeah. And then the socks Yeah, I forget where I got
Nice
these
weather.
socks. Nice weather. Oh, it's a select shop out in Seoul.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hell
so
yeah.
I got it from them. Shit, I should have worn my ons, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Shout out on.
I
Yeah.
should have.
We got
I
a
should have done
sponsored
the
athlete
research
over here, yo.
I should have done the research, man. I fucked up.
All good.
Roger, Zendaya, Jaeki.
Yeah.
What about the
Big three.
What about the medals? What about the hardware?
The hardware, I just got it from Tommy, man. I just had like some, like some 18K situation. You know what I mean? Shout out to
18?
Tommy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Is that your jeweler?
Yeah,
Tommy the Jewel.
Tommy the Jewel.
Well, okay. There
Tommy
you
the
go.
Jewel.
I didn't know.
What about Bowery?
Yeah. I'm Bowery. You know what I mean?
What about
Yeah.
this little? Is this new?
This is it's a ring. You know what I mean? I'm a married man. So
Congratulations, bro.
Thank you.
Welcome
I didn't
to
want.
the club.
Are you married?
Bing
Yo,
bong.
congrats, bro.
Don't
That's
look so surprised.
Yeah, it's been like 5 years. It's not exciting anymore. No, I'm
Nah,
kidding. I
man,
love my wife.
that's
Shout out
great,
Jenna.
man. That's great. Yeah, I've been with the same lady for a long time. How long you been with your lady?
Shit, yeah, you're like, it's a similar thing, probably going on like 12, 13 years.
Yeah,
Something
similar.
like
Same.
Yeah.
So we basically made an early investment. You know
in
what I
each
mean?
other, in each other.
Yeah,
in
it's
love.
like the ROI is solid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to do one of those quick hit and run type situations.
Yeah, I'm with you too. Love is transactional for sure. dude.
100,000%, bro. This is a partnership.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mergers.
What about the panties? We got to ask.
The panties.
Yeah.
What the fuck am I rocking, bro? Oh, these are from Icebreakers.
What?
Yeah, y'all know about that?
No.
Sounds like
Yeah.
a dick pill.
I think it's pretty big in like the outdoor,
Okay.
The Gorp community.
yeah. You know what I mean? Like it keeps your nut sacks dry and shit, regardless of the weather condition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Icebreakers. What?
Yeah.
What flavor? We talking boxer briefs?
So usually
Boxers?
I do boxers, but today
Yes.
I didn't pick up my laundry, so these shits are a little tight on me right now. You know
It's
what I
a
mean?
pre-righteous eats era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you have clothes from pre-righteous eats that like don't fit you anymore? Because now
I
you're a real
definitely
eater?
do, dog.
A real
you know what I
eater.
mean? I was like I used to rock like, large tees and medium tees comfortably. You know what I mean? Now, you know what I mean?
XL boys?
The torso was getting a bit, larger, just
Sure.
by nature of the job.
Yeah.
So
It's an
yeah.
occupational hazard.
It is. It is. You know what I mean? I'm sacrificing my torso for the righteousness of the restaurant community.
Thank you for your service.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What about the beads?
Oh, this is a Buddhist bead. It's 108 of these little joints because I'm Buddhist, and in Buddhism we believe that there's 108 strifes in life, and it's just like a long bead.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
What strife are you on? Was it strife? Is that what, like?
Yeah, like strife, suffering, different pain points.
Where you at? You at triple digits yet?
Oh, not yet.
Okay.
I'm on my way though.
On your way.
Okay.
I'm on my way. If anything, I'm genuinely just surprised right now. I don't know like which direction that we should be going because your energy just turned up 150%.
Yeah. Well, we're pros, dude. You
Yeah,
know?
Well,
like I love it. I love it, man. There's a lot that I need to learn from y'all today.
No.
I don't know about
Well,
that,
I mean-
dude.
Well, as you sip on this coffee to maybe match our energy, what are you sipping on?
Oh yeah.
Yo, I feel like I'm under interrogation right now.
That's called an interview.
so
Don't worry.
There's only
this
an hour and
is,
a half more of this.
Yeah. This is a coffee that I picked up from a new shop right next to Dimes called No Gem.
Okay.
They sell like, kitschy Korean gifts and candles and
That's cool.
hand washes and shit, which is what I got.
Oh,
you.
that's
Oh,
right. You
thank
came
you.
bearing
Yeah,
gifts.
yeah,
Thank you again,
yeah.
Jaeki.
So
Appreciate you, man.
This they use like corn tea with Americano.
Is it fire?
okay.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
How expensive is that coffee though?
I think it was like $5.
Okay, that's pretty good. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
bad.
yeah. Standard price point.
Okay. Like
Standard iced Americano price
We've
point.
reached the $7 Rubicon here in the Lower East Side.
Is that right?
With
Yes,
iced
sir.
coffees. Yeah. It's when you tip, it cracks
Right,
$7.
right. Do y'all always tip?
You got to, dude.
You have to.
Yeah. How much y'all
$1.
tip?
$1 on an iced coffee because you're just like, you're
Yeah,
pouring
yeah.
it.
Same.
If you're
same.
making something like
Yeah.
making a latte or whatever, but I don't know where that.
I feel like a Washington is fair.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
always.
you
I
got
always
to do
tip
at
a dollar.
least. That's the bare minimum.
Yeah, I always tip $1.
do you get hooked up at restaurants?
I get a lot of offers to get hooked up at restaurants.
But you always refuse?
But I always refuse.
Okay.
Yes, I haven't taken a single free meal from a restaurant.
Okay, unlike the rest of TikTok. If you get free food at a restaurant, what's the protocol for tipping? Do you have to do the math? Like what would the bill total
So,
have been if
yeah.
I'd been charged in full? And then what's
100%.
20, 25, 30% on top of that?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's usually how I do the math.
But that's
So-
extra kumon for you.
It is. It's extra, you know, knowledge points. You know what I mean? Thank you for that question. So a lot of restaurateurs, you know, they're very genuine, generous people, especially people that work in the hospitality industry.
Yeah,
right?
they're literally
Because
they're creating experiences that they want you to come enjoy.
Hospitality for a
Exactly.
reason,
The
you know?
nature of their job is to serve. So they're some of the nicest people that you're going to
they
come
serve.
across. And, you know, if you put in the religious component, the cultural component, some of these restaurateurs, they take it as an offense if you come in as a guest and you try to pay, right?
Oh shit!
So they're like, yo, like you're disrespecting my household, you're disrespecting my God, so on and
Or
so
gods.
forth. Or
Yeah.
gods, yes, multiple deities. So I've had instances where, you know, like I actually paid a shrine.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah,
word?
Yeah, at this Burmese
They
restaurant.
take Apple Pay?
Yeah.
I
Do you
actually,
tap and go?
I actually went to the bank, pulled out like a hundos, and then I paid a shrine. And then he was like, I'm cool with that, but
Fire.
I'm not gonna take your money.
That's kind of beautiful.
You
It
know
is
what I mean?
beautiful to do
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah.
I wish that was the way it always worked.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not. We gotta pay the restaurant, but
yeah.
the shrine just feels kind of like baller. dude.
Maybe
I don't
Throwing
know.
Fit should start a shrine.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a perfect segue into the meat and potatoes, no pun intended. I'm going to say
Whoa.
that for every guest, of the only podcast that matters. As the co-founder of Righteous Eats, can you just talk about like the goal of what you do at Righteous Eats?
Yeah. So we started during the pandemic, you know what I mean? You know, as James, you know a bit of my past. I've done different work in the
Born in
media
France.
world. allegedly born in
kidding.
France. You know what I mean?
I read an interview with somebody named Jaeki that was born in France.
Definitely wasn't this Jaeki show, but so you know, I started. I was making a lot of cooking videos on TikTok for fun. You know what I mean? Actually,
We all were.
the person who encouraged me to do this was Donnie Kwok.
Oh, shout out Donnie.
Yeah, my big bro Donnie Kwok, who I believe was a former guest, a past guest.
Yes.
Yeah, on a
Fits.
previous
Yes.
podcast
Yeah,
endeavor
yeah,
that shall
yeah.
not be named for sure.
Yeah. Okay, got
And just
you.
like a former colleague and
Yeah, of
homie
course,
and
yeah.
mentor. Yeah.
So he, I
Big
was
Donnie.
making these like short snippets on Instagram story just for fun, like cooking up Korean food. And he told me, like, yo, that shit is mad annoying to watch. You should just compile it and put it up on TikTok.
Okay.
That's constructive criticism at its finest.
100%. So I started putting these up on TikTok and they started picking up steam. But then, you know, I realized like, yo, bro, like, first of all, I'm not a trained cook. You know, this isn't a trajectory that I saw myself like making a career out of.
Right.
But I also was able to amass a decent sized following.
What are we talking when we say decent size?
Like
give
a
me some
couple
numbers.
100,000 on
Okay.
TikTok. You know what I mean? So I
Nothing
was
to shake
like,
a stick at.
I was like, at around this time, the reports that were coming out were saying that, like 1 out of 3 restaurants in New York was going to close permanently.
Right.
This was like restaurant apocalypse. A lot of mom and pop restaurants, as you guys probably know, like they pay their staff under the table, you know, for whatever
Allegedly.
reason, allegedly. So they weren't able to get access to PPP loans. And a lot of these mom and pop eateries, especially the ones in the boroughs, they don't have access to like corporate comms teams. You know what I mean? So they couldn't construct their narrative. They couldn't get loans. They were getting fucked left and right.
Right.
So I was like, like, what can I do to try to support some of these restaurants? And that's how I initially started Righteous Eats. And after we did that for about 18 to 24 months, we realized that, it's one thing to highlight their stories, but it's another thing to figure out how do we direct revenue for these eateries, right? So, it's one thing to just be like, this pizza's mad good or this fried rice is amazing, but it's like, how can we actually get foot traffic into their doors? So that was phase 2. And foot traffic sometimes might not be something that you could control. So we started getting these brand opportunities. So instead of me just saying like, I drink Coca-Cola and then get the bag, I said, why don't I say I drink Coca-Cola, but y'all cut me an extra bag so I could buy out a restaurant for the day and have members of our community come and eat for free. This way, y'all get your deliverable, I get paid, the restaurant gets paid, and the community gets to eat for free.
Everybody wins. dude.
Everybody
So
eats.
Yeah.
Everybody eats. So that's phase
Righteously.
2. And then now we're
You
going
could pivot
into
the name to Everybody Eats, by the way.
Everybody
Is
Eats.
it too late for that?
Maybe we should keep that shit off the record. I might have to do some research. Go on GoDaddy real quick and see if that domain is available. And then phase 3.
It's probably a porn site.
Yeah.
that actually, Very much likely, yeah. So,
Okay, so sorry, phase 3.
so
Yeah.
phase
Sorry
three.
to interrupt your beautiful trajectory.
Nah,
with
nah,
this
nah.
eating
It's all
jokes.
good, man. So phase 3 going into it, I realized that some of these restaurants, they have the product, the story, and the passion to scale.
Yeah.
To want to get to want to do bigger and better things, right? So they might want to create like CPG products. They might want to franchise their IP, but they just don't have the access to the information and the right mentors to guide them into that
Consigliere,
trajectory,
if you will.
Yeah. So like, why isn't there a Y Combinator for restaurants?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Why can't that tamales lady who crossed the border back and forth 4 times to get to America and finally build a brick and mortar, why can't she have a CPG brand that could eventually sell to Whole Foods and cash out? Like, why can't we help them create that narrative? So that's kind of where we at right now. Like, so we just started doing, we just did our first seminar where we help restaurateurs to understand how to tell their story via Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, wow.
And we want to do more of that going
Okay.
into 2025.
Sick.
Is that why Righteous Eats has been quiet for a bit? Because you're focused on phase 3, where it's not about you guys, it's about like helping everyone around you in the community and the restaurateurs?
100%, because, you know, I mean, you guys are in this content grind, right?
Yeah.
The barrier of
Shit don't
entry
never
of
stop. Don't. Please release me. No I'm kidding.
the barrier of entry to do something similar to what we do is not as high as people
It's
think.
like non-existent. You need a phone.
You know, all you need is a phone, and then you could just go to a restaurant, and the hook, the gimmick might be different for everybody,
Sure.
right? Some people might be like, yo, I watch Righteous Eats because I like this dude's voice, whether it's fake or real. By the way, this is all AI filter right now.
Do people think your shit is fake, your voice?
All the time, man. I mean, y'all just turned on the filter for me.
Yeah.
How many times have you hit puberty?
Yeah. That's at least a 3-timer club
You know
right
what I
here,
mean?
dude.
Yeah.
So
Your
yeah,
nuts
the
must be at
gimmick,
your knees.
the gimmick is different, right? Like
Right.
it could be like, you know, shorty got like, you know, blessed with big things, and then
Yeah.
people might want to watch that because she's, you know, drinking coffee
She's
with.
banging.
And she got a wagon on her.
Yeah, she just got the 2 trains popping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that could be a gimmick, or it could be like, yo, you're providing utility by highlighting the cheapest eateries in New York.
Right.
So, you know, it's almost like you're, you started off this whole project to help restaurateurs, and then you find yourself like, yo, am I like trying to compete against other content creators to try to, you know, win the algorithm?
Right.
Is that really what I started this for?
You had a reckoning? Like,
I wouldn't say it was a reckoning. It was more so just a realization, right?
Right.
Like, just like I took a step back and realized like, yo, you can't really win in that model. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody wins because everybody's just trying to get for eyeballs and
Right.
try to go highlight the new restaurant or the next restaurant.
uh-huh.
Or,
We're going to get into that for sure.
you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, man, let's focus on what we could control. So, you know, that's why we did a collab with Smorgasburg,
Right.
highlighting 4 eateries that never had a brick and mortar situation and giving them a platform, you know?
Has there been any backlash or impatience from the Righteous Eats and the Jaeki fans that are like, yo, where's all the content at?
Yeah. You been slop.
I mean, you know, like we do have a lot of folks, you know, asking us like, yo, like, are you gonna go hit up X restaurant in X area? But yo, it's like one human being
Mm-hmm.
Right.
that there's only so much I could eat, so much I could make, so much I could produce.
Yeah.
You know,
But
what I
when
mean?
people ask you who you are and what you do it for, right? Like you have this answer, like you have the vision. Versus
Right.
like a lot of content creators where it's like, I'm gonna be a whole new person tomorrow, like wherever the fucking winds take me. You know, that's like it's a mission statement.
100%. And I'm sure you guys feel this way too, right? Because a lot of people might know you guys just as 2, you know, fit bros doing podcasts. But you guys have
handsome geniuses.
handsome geniuses doing a podcast about fits, but y'all obviously do a lot more than that,
Absolutely.
right? Y'all have a whole operation. Y'all about to get into the merch business.
Yeah.
You guys have whatever you guys are doing right now is just the tip of the iceberg, right?
That's
and
true.
for most consumers, for them to just know me as the food guy, they don't know me as Righteous Eats or Jaeki Cho. They just know me as, yo, that's the Asian guy that told me where to get that pizza. I mean, that's the majority, right?
Yeah.
And the other 20% who actually understands the bigger mission, that's the people that we really need to focus on serving.
Sure.
So all this, Jaeki, incredibly righteous stuff.
Mm.
Very admirable, very honorable. But what are the least righteous things about you?
The least righteous thing about me?
Yeah, besides that you steal samples.
Allegedly.
I mean, the least righteous thing about me, bro.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, shit. This is on the record too.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to
Forever.
find the right answer.
That's fair. We could buy some time.
I'm like thinking about my search history.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
thinking about like, you know, some of the transactions that I made.
Oh no.
You know what I'm saying?
Transaction history.
Yeah.
And I
Your
think that
search
kind of
history?
gives everybody an idea.
Okay.
I mean, you were, again, with alumni, you were present in the Wild Wild West early days of streetwear,
Mm.
right? So like what maybe wasn't always above board. So maybe that's like where it's, the least righteous.
You know
shit.
what? Actually, that's a very good question because during my time working with alumni, I saw the unfortunate reality of the sneaker game.
Oof.
Oh, the
You know what I'm
backdooring.
saying? I mean, not only the backdooring, but it's just like straight up unnecessary greed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like, I'll give you one instance, right? So, alumni, one of the locations was in Crown Heights on Utica and Union. Now, it's a working class neighborhood.
That's out there.
It hasn't fully been gentrified yet, and I hope it doesn't.
Inshallah.
On Friday, I saw a long line down the block of older ladies and gentlemen with their laundry carts waiting for free food from a local church.
Mhm.
On the same block on Saturday in front of alumni, parents and kids were waiting online to buy the Jordan 11s.
Mm.
So this is happening in the same neighborhood.
Yeah.
And you put that into perspective, right? Like, yo, this is a neighborhood where people need help getting free food, but it's also the same neighborhood where people are willing to dish out $240 because of, self-esteem.
Yeah.
It's because,
The dissonance is palpable.
this pair of shoes is gonna give this young man, that pride and that ego to go to school and, feel something that he isn't able to obtain, in his community, which I genuinely believe these corporate companies have a full understanding of what they were doing. You know what I mean? In terms of the number of colorways that they were putting out,
Right.
the number of releases that they were dropping. And on top of that, the business model was if you want 24 pairs of this particular hot item, you need to buy an entire collection of duds that they
Yeah.
know that you're going to have to put that shit on sale.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
Extortion.
it's like, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? You guys are publicly traded companies. Y'all got to report to Wall Street every year.
Yeah.
And y'all need to grow your sales numbers.
Mhm.
But how does that impact these communities that is not thinking in that
For the small
perspective?
businesses.
And also the small businesses that are just trying to, Nike, for instance, right? You're essentially on a hamster wheel.
Right.
Because you buy shit on credit and you got to pay that shit back.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So if you have like $250,000, $500,000 credit line, that means you're racking that shit up and you got to pay it back. So
Mhm.
you have to come back the next season to
Right.
buy more
It
shit.
never stops, like you're
It
saying,
never stops until they drop you.
Right.
until they decide.
Until they decide to drop you.
Yeah.
So, for
That's
instance,
fucked.
like some businesses have been with Nike before the sneaker hype in the late 80s. A lot of them were grandfathered in. But if they consider you not as an asset, it's so quick for them to drop you when your business is like 75 to 80% of your business was Nike.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an immediate death sentence.
And if you push back, they say, just do it. Just fucking do it.
There he is.
You know what I
ladies
mean?
and Gentlemen.
Well, I mean, you kind of mentioned that, maybe it is just because you're the Asian guy that recommends pizza with the fire voice that is real, isn't real. Is it real?
Is it real? Is the voice real? I don't think it's real.
You
It's,
should hear this
okay.
guy off camera.
I know,
Pipsqueak,
right?
dude.
Do you think you'd be successful if you had a Mickey Mouse pipsqueak ass voice?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think so. No. No, I don't think so. Because
What if it was like the extreme bass that you have now? It was like extreme falsetto. Yo, this Jaeki Joe.
I think it probably would have gotten attention on a different spectrum.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different target demo.
Yeah. No, but that's a very interesting point because I think everybody brings certain type of utility, right? Like,
Right.
because, initially when the content started to pop off, a lot of people, the comments, you read the comments and you see what the attention was coming from.
Mhm.
Like a lot of ladies were saying like, yo, I like this guy's voice.
Like an ASMR type vibe.
You know what I mean? And I was like, and it wasn't like I intended.
Right.
Like
Right.
I didn't go in there thinking like, yo.
As someone that knew this man before TikTok, this has always been his voice.
You know what I mean? Like, so it wasn't like I went in there with the intentions like, yo, I'm going to just fucking make this shit as deep as possible and then try to,
Like Charlie Tuna from Jurassic 5.
Damn deep cut, dude.
wow. James, yo, bro, like you're really great at this, man. Oh man,
Thank
yo,
you.
I'm like genuinely impressed having this convo
At
with
Jurassic
y'all.
5 references?
Yo,
that's where the bar's at?
that shit's a deep cut reference, bro.
Maybe Concrete Schoolyard can be the outro. Oh, we don't do outro music anymore. Okay, so the ladies love the deep voice.
Yeah.
What else was the utility that you were bringing to the platform?
So with Righteous Eats, I went in there with the intention that we're not just gonna highlight the food. We're gonna talk about the stories behind the food. So we made sure that we had interaction with the ownership.
Yeah.
We also asked the owners to get access to the kitchen, which a lot of these mom and pop joints, when we first started back in 2020 and 2021, they were all like, why do you want to come into the kitchen?
What are you trying to document? here?
What are you trying to do? You try to steal the recipe?
Oh,
So we told them like, nah, like we just want to showcase how these dishes come about. And since then, a lot of other content creators that are in our field, I noticed that they have probably, not saying that we were the direct
No,
inspiration,
of course not,
but I started seeing a shift in the way that these restaurants are being highlighted.
interesting timing there.
So when you perceive biting, how does that make you feel?
I'm flattered.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm
Is that
flattered.
the PC on the record answer?
Nah, for real though. Like, think about it, right? Like, so, can you really blame a certain ball player for picking up MJ's spin moves?
Fair.
Wow.
I'm not saying I'm MJ, but-
fantastic analogy.
I'm not saying I'm MJ on the record, but I'm saying like, yo, if you have like, I don't
Kobe
know,
step
bro.
back.
Yeah, like, like if a certain rapper, like so many rappers from the 90s were inspired by Kool G Rap and Rakim,
Mhm.
right? Whether it's Nas or Hove, all these guys were inspired by them. So can you really?
But rappers also beef over flows being stolen, etc. So
Yes.
But ultimately,
yes.
it's a good thing that people were inspired by Rakim and
100%.
and
And I
LL Cool
think it's a
Jaeki
great
and-
thing that people were,
moves the art form forward.
like that they want to start talking to the restaurateurs, that they want to start highlighting the story behind the food. I think it's a great thing.
so that okay, fair enough. But let me ask you this: is that TikTok bump that a restaurant gets
Right.
is that necessary from like a viral review or people just like, oh shit, I gotta go travel out here, whether it's like fucking Fort Charles or some spot out in like Jackson Heights? Is getting a TikTok bump necessarily a good thing for a restaurant?
I think it's a gift and a curse, honestly.
Okay.
What's
Because
the gift is obvious, right?
the gift
More
is-
revenue, more attention, more sustained business. What's the curse aspect of it?
Well, sustained, not necessarily, right?
Well,
Totally. Yeah, definitely not. I mean, that initial bump might, get you a rush.
just like
but
all
that-
bumps, baby.
Yeah.
You could be overwhelmed.
But you might get a bump, but can you get the bag?
Hey, yo.
Yo, man. Wow. Nah, for real though. Like, yeah, that
It's a
bump.
seafood restaurant, you get the fish scale.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop.
Wow.
No, don't stop,
This
dude.
gentleman is on one, man. Wow. Yo, somebody give this guy an award. You know
He's
what I'm
won a
saying?
Pulitzer.
This
I
guy,
have.
But
okay, so yeah, so you get that bump, right?
Yeah,
you get that
you get that
initial
bump.
rush of attention and dollars. What's the cursed side of the?
So
that
a lot
coin?
of these restaurants, unfortunately, a lot of them are not prepared for this new influx of clientele. And what ends up happening is the kitchen gets bombarded, the front of the house service might become more lackluster,
Mhm.
and the clientele that's coming in, they're not necessarily looking at it from the perspective of a person in the hospitality industry, understanding or sympathizing with what they're
No.
going through.
Right.
They're just trying to get the sushi or, the baklava, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
and get the fuck out of there.
Patrons
Because
in New York are usually some of the least sympathetic people on earth, I would say.
they're also always in a rush.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
that too.
So, and they might not have the wherewithal or the understanding that, that lackluster experience that you've had, it was just a one-time thing because of this restaurant is going through this rush. Now, whatever it is, they might go home and write a Yelp review or a Google review, and that might damage the restaurant in the long run.
Damn.
And now, during the bump, the rush, you know, the restaurant might feel like, okay, cool. Like now I have to hire more staff. Now they hire like 3 more line cooks and 5 more front of the house people. But when the rush dies down, now you have all this new payroll that you have to take care of. So now the restaurant is also stuck because now they have to churn out more bread, but the money isn't, you know, as it was when the viral moment was happening 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So that's why I mean, like, you know, when we highlight a restaurant and we feel like this video is going to have a moment, we try to check in with them and tell them like, yo, like make sure that, you know, you have some temporary staff and
You give them a heads up.
understand that this might just be a temporary moment. And if you sell out, don't try to overdo it. Just tell people that you're sold out.
It's kind of like in Bar Rescue. I feel like whenever they're like, okay, yeah, we're having a great week. And then like the epilogue is like 6 months later, this place closed down.
And it's very unfortunate, right? Because
do viral TikTok restaurant reviews bring a certain type of customer that is only there to like flick up the most like IG friendly dish, or just to like say they were there digitally, plant a flag, and then fucking bounce and never return for business and not become a regular, like support it in the long term?
Great question. I think at one point it did, but now viral TikTok, IG, you know, YouTube Shorts have become such a, you know, screen time is synonymous. Like there's no difference for a person watching things on Netflix, YouTube Shorts, or, you know, just on their laptop, right? It's screen time. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it became so much more egalitarian, like it's reaching everybody now.
Okay.
So like TikTok or specifically I would say Instagram is no longer a nice to have. It's a must for these restaurants.
Need to have,
it's a need to have. So I think it's touching everybody. Okay. It's not just, you know, the clout chasing, you know, IG, you know, like I got to make sure that I, you know what I mean? I got to make sure that I, you know, like post about this.
Yo, real quick, going back to the Yelp and Google reviews thing. Do you ever read that shit before you go check out a place?
I mean, I've done it in the past, but a lot of the recommendations that we get have directly come from members of the community.
Right.
And, you know, I don't know if you've seen this one video where this gentleman breaks down that the best Chinese restaurants have 3 stars.
3 stars.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there is a level of truth to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because the Karens are giving, you know, the Szechuan's too spicy, right?
Yeah.
Right. Or like, yo, the service wasn't good. Well, miss, you know, the service was never good.
Right.
You can't eat service.
Like if you were expecting the waiter to fill up your water cup 5 times,
sing you happy birthday, whatever the
or
fuck.
any of that, then I don't think this restaurant was meant for you.
That's true.
Have you ever been to a restaurant where maybe they like hired a POC as a crisis actor to be like, yo, Jaeki, like we're struggling. This is the owner. Like they immigrated here from like a war-torn country.
Yeah.
And they're a refugee.
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
That you know of.
Yeah.
Not that I know of. Not yet.
This is my first meal since coming over from Sudan. Like, I love this.
But if I get hollered by a restaurant group and it's like that narrative from the jump, they probably got that idea from you.
Oh, my nonna, she come over from Italy. She has a little restaurant named Carbone.
She loves the spicy rigatoni.
Shout out to Carbone, man.
Shout out Major Food Group.
Wow.
Fucking major.
Yeah, major.
Are there restaurants you won't review because you actually want to gatekeep? Because like, because it's like a neighborhood spot or that you know you go to with your wife or with the homies that you actually don't want to.
Nah, actually no, because you know I actually want all restaurants to win. You know, it doesn't matter. Like, you know, gatekeeping for what? You know, you got information by the hand in 2024 and beyond. So. And also, if you gatekeep and that restaurant ends up not being able to pay, you know, whatever the loans that they have or the rent that they have and all the overhead that they have.
Because you're selfish ass.
Because of my selfish act of wanting to just, you know, hold on to that one particular sandwich.
There'll be nothing behind the gate eventually.
It's like, bro, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? No bounds.
Yeah, man.
Okay. What's Righteous Eats' batting average on restaurants that you feature that then shut down?
That's a great question. I think
I hope it's 1,000.
Sorry for laughing.
I think out of all the restaurants that we've highlighted, you know, and we've highlighted hundreds at this point.
Yeah.
I think at least the ones that I know of that have closed since we've highlighted them, I would say it's like less than 10.
Oh,
Dude, that's not bad.
Less
that's
than 10.
Otani numbers.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, less than 10.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, very thankfully.
Yeah.
Hang your
Yeah.
fucking jersey in the rafters on those
Absolutely.
fucking stats, dude. God damn.
TikTok as a whole, though, I mean, in the food content creator portion of the app, which is like, I
The
don't know,
ecosystem.
50% of the
Yeah.
app. Are all the restaurants that get reviewed on TikTok truly that fucking fire? Or does the algorithm just reward the constant positivity and hyperbole around how sick the experience is?
That's a very good question. I mean,
Thank you.
fuck, a lot of great questions over here, man.
Pulitzer.
You guys,
Pulitzers.
you guys
What
are
we do.
amazing.
No, I don't
Yeah.
have one, but I
You
want
guys are great.
Thank
You
you.
guys are really great at what y'all do.
Thank you. I hope we don't
We're gonna
close down.
clip that
I hope
out.
we're not- I hope we're
Clip
not
that
part of
out.
the- I hope we're not part of the 10%.
Yeah.
So, all right, so I'm gonna
Because it could get a little like,
I'm gonna go into an
nauseating.
anecdote. You know
Okay,
what
yeah.
I mean? So when I first started, highlighting these eateries, instead of just pulling up on them, I started reaching out to them to see like if we could get access to the kitchen, if we
Right,
could talk to the ownership.
like a journalist.
Truly.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's a privilege that we have considering our backgrounds. We understand fact checking. We
Mhm.
understand, actually doing an interview.
Yeah. The responsibilities that come with the access.
Right. So a lot of the questions that I would get from the ownership was, how much you trying to charge?
Oh, shit.
And at that point, I had no idea that there was an entire market, almost a racket
Yeah.
of content creators working with certain restaurants to
Mhm.
highlight
Payola.
these spots, in exchange for a fee. Now, if they're working as a marketing consultant, that's fair game, right?
Sure.
I think all these restaurants, if they could afford it, it's totally legit for them to, pay for
You
a
think
fee.
that's ethically fine?
I mean, yeah, because you're essentially a
Yeah.
marketing agent, right?
Right.
You're running an agency to market these restaurants. Now, if you're going in there saying that you're reviewing the place without disclosing the fact that you are getting paid by this restaurant in exchange for this highlight or review,
positive review.
a
yeah.
positive review, I think it gets a bit more muddy. You know what I mean?
no
and,
shit.
and which is why I never call my highlights a review.
Oh.
Because I don't go in there saying like, yo, this dish is subpar where I give you like 8 out of 10 or whatever.
What do you
Because
call it?
I just call them a highlight
Okay.
because the whole mission started with me wanting to highlight the spots that I personally enjoy.
It's not an assessment. It's just like, it's like I don't know. Yeah.
It's like my
A
way of
highlight,
giving
yeah.
them flowers, right?
That's
So,
mad interesting.
like I recently read Pete Wells, his retirement piece. I mean, this guy said that, I didn't put a single word down about an eatery until I visited this spot 3 times and tried like 70% of the menu. And that's why this guy now has gout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know what I mean?
retired.
It's got that get money gut.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Jonathan Gold reviewed almost every taco stand on Pico Boulevard. That was like 13 miles.
Yeah.
But
Rest
That
in
dude-
peace to his
he
soul.
died. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So that's why I'm like, what I do, and also because of, our background, having, our background as journalists and, working in media, like I have so much admiration for these guys that on what they do,
Put their life on the line.
I'm never going to be like, what I do is a review. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's just like I just can't do it with the consciousness.
You're featuring restaurants. You're highlighting them.
Yeah, I'm highlighting them. I'm not reviewing them.
So if you see a food content creator that's constantly just like, this place is the best place ever. Money?
Yeah. They're racked up.
I wouldn't say all of them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because that might be that person's personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have no fucking sense of judgment.
Yeah.
I love everything.
And also,
I lost my
and to
taste
be
on
fair
COVID.
though, to be fair, like I'm never gonna knock their hustle because I'm very fortunate that we're able to get these brand opportunities, which is paying for my bills.
They
and-
supplement,
yeah,
other
that
shit.
they're able to, help me pay at these restaurants and
right,
not
sure.
take a check. You know what I mean? But a lot of these content creators might not have the same access where, the knowledge of going into a meeting with an agency and talking about KPIs and shit.
Have you ever gone into highlight a restaurant and you're like, yo, this food fucking sucks. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing here? They don't deserve to
We-
be open.
we-
They should
we-
find a new line of work. Like, this
we
food is very
bricked it,
bad.
I try to look at it from and this is a fact. Yo, my palate is mad amiable
Okay.
compared to my business partner. My business partner will straight up be like, yo, this shit's whatever. But I'm
Trash.
like, yeah, I see what this dude is trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
you see the vision.
yeah, it's like you can't
the vision.
expect, like, yo, you can't go to a hood fried chicken spot, expect a certain quality, and then go to Coco Doc, you know,
Which, by the way,
I'd rather eat at the hood
Horrible.
chicken spot.
Coco Duck, fuck that.
Okay, we
Fuck
had the
that
nuggets
place.
at the U.S. Open. It's not
Word,
the
word,
same.
word.
But I'd rather eat at the hood chicken
$8
spot.
a nugget? Are you shitting me? Come on.
yo, Simon, you got to get on here.
Come on. I'll go to Coat. I'm not going to fucking Coco Duck.
Word. Yeah, so I don't think you should be expecting the same quality or the service, you know? So it's all like,
Context.
yeah, it's all context. It's all
Context is
relative.
king, yeah.
It's all relative.
Okay. All right. Well, look, I think that it's pretty clear that, you know, you love working in this world to highlight the underdogs,
Mm.
the ones that don't have the resources, that are like marginalized for whatever reasons,
The voice, the voiceless.
that are just like focused on the bottom line, right? And can't necessarily figure out or have the time or resources or bandwidth to figure out the marketing and the social media and how to get new dollars in the door. What's your least favorite thing about being a food content creator?
I think the least favorite part is, I think we mentioned this earlier about, you know, you essentially become chained to the algorithm.
Mm.
And then you're like, because now you have a standalone business, right? Like Righteous Ease, I always tell people, yo, this is not a nonprofit. Like, this is a business. And the nature of this business is pumping out content. We, you know, as content creators, what we do is we buy attention for cheap and sell it for more.
Interesting.
You know, that's how we operate this business, like
Yep.
any other business, right?
That's very true.
Yeah. So when that market is being shifted because of, you know, new algorithm changes by these platforms
Mhm.
that essentially just use us to feed their you know, whatever it may
User
be,
base.
their user base, their advertisers.
Yeah. The
You
whole
know,
thing.
you do feel like, okay, how do we really get to own our audience? That's why when y'all were talking to me off camera about Patreon and Substack,
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean? I was like, bro, like I really need to do my studies and do the knowledge and
Yeah.
really start investing into building my own community
Sure.
instead of trying to rely on the algorithm gods that's just
Yo, but
beyond
be
our
careful,
control.
'cause at a certain point, then your audience can also own you.
100%.
Has
You
the
know what I
algo
mean?
ever have you ever sensed it's a switch up in the algo where it do be a fickle mistress and you're like, hold up, like we're not getting
Yeah,
love
yeah,
and
all the
attention.
time.
I'm shadow
all the
banned.
time.
Yeah.
All the time.
We
all
got to
the
pivot to
time.
smash burgers.
all the time, all the time. You know, like, was it a coincidence that, you know, we highlighted a few Palestinian eateries and it started to get
Speak on
it
it.
started to get banned on TikTok?
Oh, shit.
I don't know.
Shit.
I don't know.
Bro, never go to on TikTok. I would suggest just a hunch. Maybe don't highlight a Uyghur restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, was it a coincidence? Who
I
knows?
don't know, man. Stick to bagels
Yeah.
and schmear. And I can
Maybe
say
not
that.
a. Maybe not a. I think your Taiwanese food highlight, your restaurant highlights might get
Yo, yeah,
hit a
Who
sore
knows,
point
bro?
on TikTok.
Who knows, right? Yeah, who knows?
Damn, that's crazy. Shit gets political across fucking all different fucking lanes of content these days.
Yeah.
Right? Everything is political. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, yeah. Look, I think though, you know, at this point, I think you call yourself a food content creator.
Yeah, 100%.
Food personalities, though, just like across history, whether that's TV,
Right.
critics, cookbook authors.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite food personalities of all
You
time?
mentioned Pete and Jonathan already, and the
Right.
respect you have for them.
Right, right. Yeah, like obviously the great late Tony Bourdain.
Mm.
I mean, I think that's an obvious you know, shit. Like I have a lot of love for my big bro Roy Choi.
Mm.
I mean, he's more of, I wouldn't say he's a food personality. I mean, he's a chef and a restaurateur who also happens to be on Netflix once in a while. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I have a lot
Public-facing
of
guy.
public facing guy. I have a lot of respect for him. He's always
How many
shown,
people discovered Korean tacos because of that, man?
yeah, and he's somebody who's always looking out for his little bros. You know what I mean? Even when I was just like a young kid coming out of college, like working with some musicians, we were all broke. This dude would always like, you know, pull up to the truck, pull up to my restaurant. I got you. Take care of us. Like he just always showed us love. Yo, who do you need to get connected to? Yeah, I'll make that warm intro. You know what I mean? So he's just a real solid individual.
Each one teach one.
coming from Queens and, used to work for Double XL and just being in the hip hop space, I've always had a lot of admiration for Action.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? Bronson for what he does. And I think he has such a unique way of approaching and telling stories behind food because he doesn't go in there with this academic hubris. You know what I mean? He just talks about it like how you would talk to your friends about it. You know what I mean?
Bars, dude.
Has there ever been any Righteous Eats, Fuck That's Delicious, or Action?
I mean, if the opportunity ever comes, like, yo, I'll be more than honored. You know what I mean? But not yet. And I gotta give a shout out to Eddie Huang.
Oh, dude, our guy. Big shout out, Eddie. Hope you're well, buddy.
Yeah. Eddie,
can't wait to see that doc on Vice fucking everyone over.
Oh yeah, dude, it's gonna be a fucking movie.
Yeah, I mean, Eddie's just, man, he's incredible.
Do you ever
extremely
go to his
intelligent.
parties?
No, I never been actually. I never been to his 4 local parties. And yeah, man, I
Dave
mean,
Chang? What are your thoughts on?
I mean, I think what he's accomplished as an entrepreneur and as a just a tycoon is incredible.
Titan.
Yeah,
he's that
incredible.
pivot to CPG, I feel like some small businesses can learn a lot from that because that's now like what they're not really, it's not restaurants anymore.
100%. I have the utmost respect for what he's done. You know what I mean? As a businessman.
Yeah.
You
gotta take out your competitors at any cost. You know what I mean?
What chili crisp are you buying though?
So that's actually a good question because a friend of Righteous Eats who recently passed, who started 16 Handles. His name is Simon. His name is
the yogurt
the Froyo place?
Yeah, Solomon.
No,
his name is Solomon. So he was a very close friend of the brand because he's like best friends with my business partner. So before Solomon passed, he actually shared his thoughts about, the whole chili crisp gate.
Yeah.
And we actually have a video that's online about how, Solomon had his own legal run-ins with Chang when
over Froyo?
When how Milk Bar had a cereal flavor.
Yeah,
that's really delicious.
So like I think Solomon had something that was called similar.
Okay.
And then, they called him
the
and
cereal milk type shit.
Were like milk. So Solomon called it milk cereal versus cereal milk or some shit.
Dude.
And then,
wars.
So yeah, like I think, Chang was telling Solomon that he's gonna sue him, whatever. And Solomon was just like, yo, like, say less, man. I'll take the shit down. You know what I mean? Like,
damn,
you don't have to go. You don't have to go all the way over there. But anyways, I'm like butchering this story. But
no.
You rest in peace to Solomon.
Did Ronnie
he passed
Feig ever
away.
get involved with Kith treats, or that would have been a bloodbath?
Curious, man. Yeah, curious about that. Yeah.
What about current food content creators? Who are your favorites?
Yo, I have a lot of love for my boy Marco. This is what New York eats. He does that.
Yeah. I've seen his shit. I've been served that up.
Yeah, he's a real dude from the Lower East Side. You know what I mean? Like Italian American, one of the, like last of the Mohegans, really from that area.
Mm-hmm.
And then, he says this openly, like, yo, he had like a huge gambling addiction. He was like a blue collar New York City guy that used to work for the city. And then, like one thing led to another. He just decided to go full on to become a food content creator.
Yeah,
like when
Eric Adams could take a page out of his book.
And, when I see someone like him, like he doesn't have the media experience that people like we do.
Right.
But he come from where he came from and he's able to pivot and tell the story in such a meaningful way. And now he has a whole career as a content creator.
He's authentic though, right? Like,
and he's real. He's a real dude, 100%. So a lot of love for him. Who else, man? I'm blanking out. A friend of ours, Brian Can't Stop Eating.
Okay.
Yeah.
He might have a problem.
Yeah. Is he okay?
Yeah.
I think he's slowed down a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So
good job, Brian.
His TP budget must be crazy.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, those two are the people that I could think off the top. Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta ask you this.
Oh, here we go.
What is Jaeki Cho's hottest food take or your most unpopular opinion on food?
Hold up. Hottest food take.
Yeah, let's piss people off.
I think pineapple pizza doesn't deserve all the slandering that has been getting.
I agree.
I think that
salty sweet.
Yeah.
Salty sweet.
Sweet, salty balance is actually incredible.
If you want that, if you're like, I'm in the mood for that, that is an acceptable thing.
100%.
Right?
100%. Yeah, man. Like, I mean,
What would Anthony say?
Oof.
I don't know. That's a very good point. I have no idea.
But also, it's like, it's a personal preference.
Yeah,
right?
but
Slow down. Have a pint. Have the pineapple on pizza. Have 2 slices.
yeah, man, I love it. The sweet and salty combination, I think it's incredible. It's yin and yang. It's
Is that
balanced.
your go-to pizza order?
It's definitely not my go-to pizza order, but once in a while, if I see it at like some community board meeting, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna say no to it. You know what I mean? Like I'll be like, yo, I'll fuck with this shit.
It's also like it's like a Caribbean thing. It's like an Asian thing. It's a pretty like, it's not New York, right? But it is like a pretty global fucking.
Totally. And we
entity.
also have to acknowledge that a majority of the world, unless you are from the tri-state, your first exposure to pizza in the 20th century probably kicked it off with something from Pizza Hut or Domino's.
Can out pizza it. What is the best pizza in New York City, in your opinion?
Damn, that's a loaded question.
I know. This is going to get you in trouble.
I think it depends on the occasion. Can I give you a few options?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I have guests coming over from out of town, I always take them to Table 87 on Atlantic Avenue.
Okay.
It's like coal-fired pizza joint.
Okay.
It's a neighborhood joint, but they also have like a successful CPG product. It's really good. So that's more like, coal-fire. Like it's not too far from the Brooklyn Promenade. You know what I mean? Like that whole combination is ill. If I want like a slice right off the subway, there's a spot in Flushing, Queens called Lucia's.
Okay.
That's been there for like 50 plus years.
Is it Asian owned?
Nah, it's I think it started off like Italian. Now I think the gentleman, he's from like Iran or some shit. I could be wrong.
Right. That's a slice spot.
It's a slice spot. And the thing with slice spots is all about churning because you want to get that fresh slice. So you need a place with high foot traffic, or you need a place that is already popping, like Amore in Whitestone. That's also a classic spot. But yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty much about it. I mean, Spumoni Gardens and Lucali's and all these spots are classics, for what it is.
Yeah.
But I don't think they necessarily need additional cosign than what they already getting.
Point. Yeah.
One last spot. There's a spot called Farina in Carroll Gardens. They have an oven that was like an Irish bread oven that's been there for like 150 years.
Shit.
They recently, it was recently taken over by an Italian, second or first generation Italian gentleman named Michael. And they make incredible
That's a
pies
cultural
over there.
Voltron, dude. Irish and Italians coming
Yeah,
together.
yeah. It's an incredible spot. So
Okay.
Do you think noted gourmand Dave Portnoy is qualified in his pizza reviews? Because people look at him as a fucking, as like the vanguard of like what he says is like as good as gold.
Yeah, one
When
bite.
it comes to
Everybody
pizza.
knows the rules.
That's actually a great point. To be honest, I don't know anything about that gentleman except that he has a very successful business and he loves gambling. And
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Sounds like your boy Marco.
They have a lot in common, dude.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man, I mean, I've seen his reviews and I think,
He's probably putting his 10,000 slices, right?
Right.
At this point, so there's like,
he probably now knows a lot more about pizza than the average person at this
Absolutely.
point. I mean,
he learned on the job.
he learned on the job, 100,000.
Well, speaking of that pasty honky, is it true that white people can't season their food at all?
I think white people in general, fuck. I think it depends on the white. Are like Southern Italians considered white?
Well, they used to not be. Now I think they are. Same with the Irish. I don't know. Fucking whiteys, bro. Like gentrifiers.
Gentrifiers?
Yeah.
Word?
The people eating peppers on Rivington Street. Not in Flatbush.
Yeah. You know what it is, man? I think because of access to technology, information, I think the white palate has elevated and has been diversified.
The whites are evolving.
You know what I mean? Just like everybody else,
Just like
man.
the Pogs.
Yeah, like, because they're out here going to Sichuan restaurants.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Popping peppercorns.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Doing outlandish shit. Yeah. So like, yo,
hey, Chad,
I
you want to try this
respect it.
peppercorn?
Yeah, I respect it, man.
All right. The whites are evolving.
100,000.
Like
their-
fucking Pokemon,
Both in
dude.
their booties and their palates.
You know what I mean? Went from a Pikachu to a Raichu.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of fucking white people, what memories do you hold with you from that
Oh, yeah.
New York Magazine photo shoot
Oh, word.
from hell that we
Oh,
all
yeah.
participated in.
Yeah, did you have a good time? We had a bad time, but we turned it into a lot of content for the pod. so
I was
I'm not
mad confused the whole time.
Right?
Yeah, I was confused.
What the hell was that?
Imagine if you not even on TikTok and you were there, like us. I mean, we use it for clips for the pod,
Right,
but we're
right.
not TikTok content creators.
I was confused. And to be honest, like, you know, they were like, yo, we're going to meet at Bad Roman, right?
Yeah,
that was
yeah,
the
Emphasis
restaurant.
on the bad.
Yeah.
Have you ever highlighted Bad Roman?
Not
The
yet.
Columbus Circle fucking stalwart piece of shit.
Not yet, but not, you know,
That shit sucks.
not yet. And I didn't really get to eat the food. I think my table.
You're lucky.
Yeah, my table
We didn't
was,
have
I forget who was at my
It was
table.
prop food that you
Yeah,
could.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I had some TikTok food reviewers, the VIP list girls, who, much respect, they give brutally honest reviews
Yeah,
of restaurants where they don't pull any punches and not everything's fire. They definitely lean negative, but as like their thing. But they're not just like, oh, this is the best spot, like 10 out of 10 every
But-
single time.
If a place is good and you haven't been there, they do tell you to kill yourself. So there's that to consider as well.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You never heard these chicks go off?
yeah.
Not yet. I'm about to go find out.
Oh, yeah.
Yo, the VIP list, yo,
They're great.
tap in,
They're
dude.
great.
You're gonna love
Yeah,
it.
I'm gonna find out.
We had beef with them and we're like, we got to end this beef. We're
Yo,
scared.
I know, dude. They
Are they
not
gonna
be-
Are they gonna come into the Terror Dome? Are they gonna?
They've
pull
been
up?
there. I think they own the Terror Dome.
Yeah,
Yeah. Wait, so do you have it was just weird, right?
yeah.
It was an
bizarre.
interesting experience, man. Like I honestly thought that it was going to be a bit more like communal, where we actually get to know each other and we get to have a conversation. But it was just a photo op.
Instead of
Yeah.
Ryan Serhan's
You know
trying
what
to
I
sell
mean?
you a fucking $25 million penthouse in
Nah, he's
in,
cool though. We fuck with Ryan Serhan.
Yeah, Ryan's the man, man.
Oh, you know
what I
him?
mean? Yeah. He invited me to one of his podcasts in the past.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Damn,
you know what I mean? He's always on.
A
Yeah.
mutual
Yeah,
guest. We had him on
always
back
on.
in the day
He's
too.
always on, bro.
Well, he's a real estate agent, dude. Come on.
100,000 real
Yeah.
estate agent, former, I think, aspiring actor who
Yes,
turned into
that's
a real
why he's
estate
so
agent.
handsome.
Yeah,
Former
yeah.
podcast guest of our
Mhm.
former podcast.
Mhm.
Let's bring back to food though. When you enter a restaurant, is there anything where they'll clue you in? You're like, yo, I am not in for a good time. Like, what'll instantly ruin a meal for you at a restaurant?
That's a good point, man.
It's different for everyone.
Yeah. I think
Red
if,
flag.
If the red flag is if the waiter were, I guess, the person behind the register were like the counter, they just seem like you could just tell like they don't want to be there.
Mm.
That's usually the first.
So
red
all
flag.
of them. So
You know what I mean? Because you go to certain restaurants, like the owner is genuinely happy to be there. Like
Right.
this motherfucker probably went to like Restaurant Depot, picked up like 30 pounds of potatoes, and he just already had a long day from 5 a.m. But
Yeah,
he's
right,
still
right.
fucking happy to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
Like that you're gonna get, even if the food you might not necessarily agree with, you're gonna have
Yeah.
a piece of this motherfucker's soul.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you pull up to a joint, there was like this pie chain, that went
like
in and
pie,
out.
like pumpkin pie.
Nah, it was like some Australian pie chain that was in New York, in and out.
Oh, meat pie type stuff.
Yeah. I forget the name.
Pause.
Cream
But
pie?
Fuck, bro. Fuck. So I forget what the name is. That's how bad it was, because
True, yeah.
they opened up like bullishly, like fucking 30 locations in New York in like a span of a year. And I remember pulling up to this one location near Tom's. Was it like Herald Square, where like Penn Station?
Mhm.
Dog, like the members of the team were like aggressive that I was there. Like they were like, why the fuck are you here to try to eat this pie?
We're about to go on
Because
strike.
they knew it was such dog shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they were getting mad at me for wanting to buy some shit from this establishment.
Don't do it, dog.
But they were doing it in a way where they were like, yo, like trying to, like they were picking on like what I was trying to ask them and shit. I was like, yo, the fuck? You know what I mean? Like I'm trying to get y'all paid over here.
yeah.
So if the environment is so bad that the
Hostile.
employees themselves are just don't want to be there, you're not in for a good
100%.
meal.
You're
Even
not.
But the food could, even if the food is fucking gas, you're like, nah, this.
I don't think the food could be gas if the employees there look like they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
True.
Hostility does not equal
You
righteousness.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So yeah, read the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about what's the opposite? Like as soon as you walk into a spot, what clues you in that you're in for a fire meal?
Ooh. I mean,
A C health rating?
Yeah.
That helps.
I think it's usually for me when I see people that started to collect AARP issues and is collecting like Social Security, and you see a bunch of them hovering around.
Ooh.
You know what I mean?
Like vultures.
Like they're like either in there or they might have like a newspaper that's opened up in a language that is not English.
Right.
That's when you kind of get a sense like, all right, this spot is legit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, you know, those people are usually very difficult to please.
They've seen it all and they've ate it all. Just
They've been through war.
Quantity of life.
They've been through famine.
Feast and famine.
They've lost children.
Yeah.
They've lost friends. And for them to have a moment of solace in this little, you know, eatery in the outer outskirts of Brooklyn or Queens, you kind of know that, yo, this spot is official.
Yeah. Trust your elders.
Yeah, for sure.
They have the ancient wisdom channeling through them.
Totally.
Their forefathers and foremothers.
Totally.
That have brought them to the spot
Yep.
for solace and placidness.
Peace.
I don't know,
Yeah.
bro.
Peace and comfort.
Yeah. Speaking of comfort, what's your comfort food when you're having a shitty day? When Jaeky's feeling a little blue?
When I'm feeling a little blue, I usually get two things. One, I get a fat burrito. It's called, I get it from this one spot that's not too far from my crib. They have this thing called a burrito chingon. And they put like,
What'd you call me?
that's what they call it, burrito chingon. Is from a spot called Chicken Taco. Is a food truck.
It's called Chicken Taco.
The name of the spot is
Great
Chicken Taco.
SEO.
Yeah, this is why they need people like you. Dude.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why they haven't blown up yet. You know what I mean?
No,
But
that's great SEO. No, you're like, yo, I want tacos. Oh, this spot's open.
Chicken Taco, baby, on Church Avenue, burrito chingon. And then they
What's in
put, you know, it's different types of meat. You know what I mean? But one thing that they put a dry chipotle pepper
Oh, nice.
that gives it that extra kick.
Yeah.
So I usually get that, or I go to the spot in Flushing on 162nd Street called Paksambal Kukbap. You know, again, horrible SEO because if you don't speak Korean, you don't know what the fuck that
Right,
means.
I was gonna ask what language that even is.
I don't even know what Paksambar means. You know what I mean? But I know Kukbap means soup rice. It's basically a common Korean dish where they serve it to you with a soup or broth with rice
Hell yeah.
and a bunch of side dishes.
Delicious.
The soup and the rice is it like a congee? They're mixed in or they're separate?
Nah, it's separate.
Okay,
It's
okay.
separate.
So
It's
build
always
your own.
served. It's build your own adventure.
love
You
that.
know what I mean? And it's piping hot. The broth probably has been boiling in that on the stove for at least 6 to 7 hours.
Oh,
Came out the
You know what I
cauldron.
mean?
delicious.
Yeah.
And that shit just shakes off all types of diseases, all types of evilness. You know what I mean?
Cleanse your soul.
It purifies your soul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So shout out to
sounds good as
Paksambal Kukbap on 162nd Street, Flushing.
Shout them out.
The lady, I kept asking her, like, yo, can I come through and highlight this spot? She like, nah, I don't need it. You know what I mean?
Gangster.
Because it's busy. So I highlighted it regardless.
Right.
And it got even more busy. And yeah, man, the lady's like, yeah, I don't need it until I pulled up one day for like some New York mag highlight. You know, and I had like a non-Korean photographer with me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with a lot of older Asian folks in our communities, man. They need to see a non-Asian to know that this shit is official.
Legit.
So it's like, yo, like this photographer homie came along and the lady's like, oh,
He's valid.
like this motherfucker ain't like some fucking run-of-the-mill, like
Yeah, yeah.
Flushing goon kids trying to like take advantage of me.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So anyway, shout out to Paksambar.
Yeah. Is there any food you think is gross?
I haven't come across any
Really?
gross food yet. Yeah, not yet, bro.
What's that like the bottom of the power rankings? Like the thing you're least excited to eat.
I mean, I don't want to eat dogs.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
Fair.
That's
Yeah,
sure.
like, and again, I don't judge people that eat dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it is what it is. You know what I
What
mean?
if they were somebody's pet?
In certain cultures, like, yo, they eat dogs.
Have you
know what I'm
ever
saying?
been traveling where you were maybe a guest in someone's home and they offered you something that you weren't necessarily comfortable with eating on your own, but you maybe did because you're like a guest in their home and it'd be rude to
Not yet.
not yet.
Not yet. You know what I mean? I was in Colombia. They cut up like
Some fish
cow
scale?
foot.
Oh.
You know what I mean? That shit is banging. You know, the thing is, yo, like a lot of places outside of America, they eat all parts of the animal.
Sure.
Right.
You know what I mean? Except like over here, like they just want to eat certain cuts.
Right.
So Korean culture, we eat everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No
nose
bone
this-
left unturned.
To the nose to the snout.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Or snout to the tail.
Yeah,
There it is.
everything. So
Yeah.
it's like, and I realized it's similar in a lot of other cultures. Like in Europe, you go to Spain, you go to Italy, they eat all parts of the cow as well.
Meat and fucking horse over there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like, you'll be surprised like how much similarities there are. You know, there's more similarities than differences in a lot of these cultures.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
That being said, what is the wildest shit you've ever put in your mouth? Pause.
Whew.
Or did he?
Up until this point. Oh, what is it? What is that? Rocky Mountain oysters? Y'all know what that is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
bull testicles.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a cow nut.
I had that shit in
Different type
in
of
Denver.
milk. Different type of milk.
In Denver. And I it wasn't wild, but you know, it
Do you
was
like it?
Yeah, shit was ill. You know what I mean? It was
Like
like
it made you ill?
it was like double deep fried and shit.
Oh, so
like you couldn't even tell what it was
Damn,
until
they
like
dressed up those nuts.
yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Barbecue sauce, honey. What do we do?
Nah, man. Just
Raw?
the batter.
raw,
Just the
raw
batter.
dog the nuts.
You know what I mean?
When was that saying? Are you a fast food guy?
I like fast food.
What's your number
Dependent.
one?
My number one, I would say, is In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I fuck with In-N-Out.
Not like fast cat. That's like fast casual.
Is it?
No.
No,
Is
it's
it
fast
though?
food.
Really? All right. I mean, it doesn't move that fast.
And I think it's also because it's, you know, we don't get access to it over here.
right. So it's
true, yeah.
novelty.
It's a treat.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like whenever I go to the West Coast, I'm like looking up, yo, this city got In-N-Out, and boom, that's
What's
where I'm
the-
heading up.
In and out order.
I get animal style on the fries,
Mm.
you know what I mean? Double patties. And then I get the cup, you know what I mean? Because they got the lemonades
Yeah.
just readily available.
Dude, like mustard grilled, chopped chilies, anything
Oh,
like
yeah, I
that.
had all that shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dress
I love
it up.
In-N-Out.
Make it real for me.
I also like Shake Shack. You know, yo, funny story. So when I was an intern at Complex back in the late 2000s,
Mhm.
like I think 2008, I was
Mhm.
like 18 or 19 at the time. In
Shout out
New
to Black
York,
Album.
New York, there was only two Shake Shacks at the time. One in downtown Manhattan, one in Madison Square Park.
The OG.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Complex office at the time was in the Mark Echo,
Yeah.
you know, building on 23rd Street.
We were there.
So I remember vividly Noah Callahan, NCB.
Yes,
You know what I
Bever,
mean?
yeah.
Bever.
Bever.
Don't forget the
Yeah,
never forget the
never
Bever.
forget the Bever.
Never, never, never. Can't forget the Beva.
So Noah's like, yo, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go wait online at
What
the
a boss.
Shake Shack
What a
at
mentor.
Madison Square Park.
Yeah.
And when you're about to get done with the line, hit us up because
Oh.
I'm gonna take the editorial staff over to eat.
Damn, that line
And
must have
then
been
you,
pissed.
you know,
Yeah.
you get to you order whatever you want.
Wow, that's real journalism lessons right there.
You know what I mean? And this was like, yeah, I mean, I think now if any boss tells an intern to do that, like, yo, you're getting called out on Twitter,
Yeah,
you know what I
you're
mean? You're
canceled.
probably get canceled.
You're gonna
But
take a mental health day the next
Yeah,
day.
yeah,
pretty much. But at the time, you know, young Jaeki, ready to do whatever, man.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
I was like, fuck yeah. You know what I'm saying?
How
I
long
get-
did you wait in line? Do you remember?
I just remember I listened to the Ready to Die album twice.
Twice.
Is that a double? Is that a double album?
Yeah.
Nah, man, it was like there was
No,
the
you're
first
thinking
album.
of Life After Death.
Oh,
That's
Okay,
Life
okay,
After
Life-
Death.
okay,
So
yeah.
I listened to Ready to Die twice. And I was about
Turned
to
it
be
into a
done.
double album.
Yeah,
Yeah,
turned it into a double album. And then yeah, man. And then, you know, I remember that instance vividly. And then anytime I eat Shake Shack now, I just remember how much I've come. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the progress.
Fuck you, NCB.
yo,
Fuck me now.
yo, shout out to
I'm
NCB,
a ass
man.
taste.
Yeah.
Shout out to
I'm a
NCB.
Shake Shack
and-
taste. Yo, because we love you, we want to ask a real question.
Yeah.
You know, we're a little concerned. What's your cholesterol looking like?
Yeah, you healthy?
Yo, man, my BMI is not looking great.
Yeah.
I did gain a lot of weight since I started Righteous Eats, but this past like 18 months, I've been running a lot more.
Yeah.
Right.
And I kind of balance things out a bit.
Okay, good.
You know what I mean? You know, the thing is, man, like once you evolve from your 20s, the jawline never is the same. You know what I'm
You
saying?
gotta bring
Like,
in the beard. You got to
you
fake
know what I mean?
it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
with
like
you,
this
bro.
shit is plastic surgery.
yeah.
We're covering it up. You know, it's a facade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the jawline isn't the same. The titties are getting a bit more mushy. You know what I mean?
Titties.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The fucking love handles are increasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's expanding. You know, we all got to be cognizant of what we're consuming. So I've been trying
Shout
to
out On for
Shout
helping
out
us
to
achieve
On.
our fitness goals.
100,000%. Movement is key, baby.
Yeah.
Is that that's their
That's
thing?
not even their tagline,
Okay.
but
No.
I just said it.
But
They
it's
can have
bound
it.
to be.
So yeah, man. So, I try to be active, and I've been, there was one point when we would shoot because we would bank all of these episodes, right? So like we would go out on like a Wednesday, hit up like 4 eateries.
That is too many meals.
And
in a
I
day,
and I
my
pull
friend.
up with 4 fits.
Oh,
You know what I mean? To make it seem like,
shit.
it was a different day. But by the time you get to your 3rd restaurant, and you get food fucked.
You get the itis.
Because these people, these restaurateurs, they're being very generous.
Well,
They're
of
like,
course.
yo, like
Try
eat
this,
more,
try this.
Yeah.
eat this, eat that. And you don't want to be a dickhead. So
Right.
you're like trying everything, at least taking a bite.
Yeah, at least.
But all that shit adds up. It compounds, man.
And you guys you're like a lean staff, right? You're lean and meat. You don't have like a big crew to
Nah,
hand out
bro.
the treats to.
It used to be just me and one other guy pulling up to these eateries, man.
Yeah.
So all the leftovers will be like, yo, that's all you, baby.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Damn. That's like Taco Bell 4th meal, dude. You're just on your 4th meal shit. That's
Yeah.
too many. That's way too much food.
So
in one day.
we've scaled it down. Now we're
Okay.
like, yo, let's just hit up like 1 restaurant a week.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
And what do you like the rest of the week? Are you eating like salads or what are you doing?
I
Keep it
mean,
light, simple.
Watching
yeah,
your
like
macros.
yeah. I mean, I don't do that. I stopped doing like macros and keto and
Right.
like intermittent fasting and all that. Like I stopped all of that. But I do try to be cognizant. You know what I mean? And luckily, coming from a Korean culture where eating fermented food is the norm.
Mhm.
Like kimchi is just part of everything. I put kimchi in a taco, put kimchi
Sure.
in everything.
Good
So
for the gut.
yeah, for the gut, man. That
You're training for the marathon. What's going to be your post marathon meal?
Yeah. Have you thought about that at all?
Across that finish line.
Yeah, I mean, I think,
We could workshop it now if you haven't.
so after you do like a long run, you feel like shit, obviously.
I was gonna say, yeah.
Because your body temperature is all over the place. So like, you kind of lose your appetite,
Mm.
at least for like the first few
Oh, shit,
hours.
okay.
You know what I mean? So I think what I want to do after this particular marathon is I'm going to hit the sauna,
Okay.
a
Sweating out.
Korean
Wait,
bathhouse.
You're going to
Yeah.
sweat more?
Yeah, bro. Like just warm yourself. Like,
Lean into
yeah,
the
yeah,
skin.
Yeah. Calm
Right.
yourself down. Maybe
Yeah.
get a massage.
Wash your ass.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wash your ass. Wash all parts of your body.
Yeah.
Calm down a little bit. And then, start it off with some fruits.
Okay.
Grab some pineapple. Not the pizza.
No.
Just
Right,
the pineapple.
Okay.
Get some sugar. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then
Glucose.
and then I'm probably gonna go for a soup. You know what I mean? Like a sancocho.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Shout out to all the Latino Americans.
All
You
of
know what I
them.
mean? So all of them, the whole entire populace. Yeah. So
All right, so
definitely a
fruit
soup.
and soup.
Fruit and then soup.
Yo, that's a crazy combo. Dude.
Yeah.
And then a million beers.
Pretty much.
Yeah. What's the best Korean barbecue spot in all of New York? Your
I-
favorite. Your favorite.
so-
There's no one best.
When I'm in Manhattan,
Yeah.
because there's great places in North Jersey. Shout out to Bergen County. There are great places in Flushing, Queens. But when I'm in Manhattan, I usually like to take guests to this spot called Yoon's Haeundae on 35th Street. So it's off the strip. Like
Right.
32nd is
Yeah.
where all the action is.
Shout out K-Town where
So-
I lost my virginity.
Is that right?
Yeah.
At MK at the karaoke bar.
No, at the
Yeah, he got a private room,
at
dude.
the La Quinta, which is now I believe a Red Roof Inn.
Is that right?
Yeah. It was
Interesting, man. Was it in the bathroom or was
No,
this
it's
like
I got a room.
in a hotel room?
He's
Yeah.
a gentleman, dude.
Was it a professional that you
No,
lost it
no,
to?
it was with my girlfriend at the time.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
But
Was
why?
your girlfriend a professional?
No.
Okay, nah, because I mean,
And it was 2000.
K-Town in a hotel.
It was
Like,
the cheapest hotel in Manhattan that would take. I thought they'd take cash,
right.
but instead I had to ask a guy on the street to put it on his card. And he was this like Korean gangster. He's like, "Yo, if you fucking ruin a TV or like I get billed for this, he's like, I know where you live. I see your ID. I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Don't ask about me on PP on How House Street." And I'm like, "What?
Die for the
I'm
pussy.
trying to fuck." The best part was,
But you
And-
still got to fuck though.
yeah,
That's
long-time
great.
listeners of
That's
the
great,
podcast
man.
know this, so I'll be quick. But the year was 2002. The World Cup was in
Right.
South Korea.
Yeah.
South Korea was doing very well that year.
100%.
I think it was like the quarterfinal game or something. I
Yeah.
swear to God.
that
when
hotel must have been popping.
the whole street was popping. When I was popping my nut. Like there was a simultaneous goal must have been scored because the whole street went crazy as soon as I nutted for the first time in my life or near a vagina.
Damn, son. So you nutted as Korea scored against Spain. That's incredible.
Sir.
That's incredible,
Yeah,
man.
they made us to the semis. It was awesome.
That's awesome. man.
Okay, so Yoon's on 35th.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Yoon's on 35th, bro.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's
That's
like
the
my
spot.
go-to when I'm in Manhattan. When I'm in Bergen County, there's a spot called Jaeki, which means old house.
Hope people are writing this down.
Is right off like
What
Fort
town
Lee.
is it?
It's in Fort Lee.
Oh, it's in Fort Lee.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
in
of
Fort
course,
Lee.
of course.
Yeah. So the
Do you
thing
fuck with
putting
do you
the
fuck
Lee
with
in Fort
Korean-
Lee.
Do you fuck with the Korean spa there? In Fort Lee, the big one on the water?
by Edgewater, you mean?
The one like on the Hudson.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. Actually, I think it's a bit too busy for me.
Okay.
I like to go to like spas where I could be comfortable.
Right.
Just with my nuts out, like
Yeah,
just,
naked.
just feeling like like
Right.
Yeah.
is I recently just read the old Jewish man guidebook
Oh yeah.
that Noah put together.
Uh-huh.
Noah, right? That's his
Yeah,
name? Yeah. So and I realized I was like, there's a lot of similarities to the life of an OJM and a young Korean man like
YKM.
myself.
Nuts out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nuts-
Nuts out
Nuts
and the
swanging in the
sauna,
wind.
just sweating things out. You know what I mean? You giving yourself the illusion that you're working out.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, when you go from YKM to OKM, when you're an old Korean man, you know, and we're on death's door. Not to get macabre, but you know, it comes for all of us.
Right.
What do you want your last meal on earth to be?
I think it has to be some sort of a soup and rice combination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stick with the classics. Stick with what you know.
It seems like
That's
that's what
it.
you like.
Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? I love getting my blood vessels drenched with sodium. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So I need that. I need that warmth. You know what I mean? It's like a hug. It's like a blanket.
Yeah.
You know, and if I'm gonna, go back to the essence, the last thing that I want to do is, feel warmth
Yeah.
in the physical realm.
And then like if you're full of warm liquid, you'll be faster decomposing, right? You'll go back to the roots.
Yeah,
quicker.
I think so, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that's scientifically proven, but
I think so.
I think the thesis has some legs.
Wait, as a Buddhist, do you believe in reincarnation?
So I'm supposed to, but I'm more like a, pick your own adventure a la carte Buddhist.
Okay.
You know
Like
what I mean?
a dim sum
What is
Buddhist.
good-
Yeah. So it's like, listen, man, like,
Depends on how many stripes you run into.
I don't
that day.
believe in heaven.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in reincarnation. I think when you die, you die.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You go, your body turns to dust, and then you
Right.
become fossil fuel for the animals.
It's the Ivan Drago school of thought.
Is that right?
If he dies, he dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Oh, yeah. He did say that.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yo, Roger
Dolph.
Ebert over here, man, with all these
Dolph.
references.
That's old Dolph.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Ivan
Yeah.
Drago, one of the rare Russian Buddhists. You know?
Who wasn't even Russian.
True.
The actor.
Oh, Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah.
I'm saying the character.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Well, while we're here on this small blue marble just spinning around the sun, if you could only eat in one neighborhood in New York City,
Right.
what's the hood that you're going to choose?
I mean, no question. Queens.
But what?
No,
very
no,
quick.
that's a borough. Neighborhood.
The intersection. It has to be an intersection
Okay.
because it gets a little bit confusing in that part.
Okay.
So there's one train station, right? 74th Street, Roosevelt.
Mhm.
That's the motherland. That's Ellis Island. That's the foundation.
Is there
You know what
crazy
I mean?
Mexican right off the?
There's all types of Mexicans
Okay.
over there. You know what I mean? All types of Mexicans.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All Mexicans of all colors and creeds.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So that area is like borderline Elmhurst, Jackson Heights, and Woodside.
Okay.
Ooh.
So you
That's
get
the Venn
that.
diagram.
Pretty much. That's the Bermuda Triangle.
And you could get lost in the
You
sauce.
get
there.
lost, man. You
Yeah,
get
sounds like
lost
a-
and you could never come back.
Sounds like a good soup.
It is. It is an incredible intersection. And when we first immigrated over here, and this is why I felt like I'm so blessed that that's where we first landed when we came to New York on 75th Street.
You're Plymouth Rock.
Pretty much, man. You know what I mean? So growing up in that neighborhood, like I had access to like Indonesian, Bangladeshi, Mexican, Salvadoran, Honduran, Thai, Korean, Chinese, like all in walking distance.
Sick.
You know what I'm saying? And I got a little piece of everything. So, if there's one neighborhood in New York, if anything, like in the entire United States, I would
Wow.
say in terms of like
Damn.
just sheer diversity in a concentrated landmass, I would put that intersection against anywhere.
What
That's
would be?
high praise, bro.
Yeah, damn. That's so this 74th and Roosevelt.
74th and Roosevelt, the intersection of Woodside,
Yeah.
Jackson Heights, and Elmhurst.
I know that for Righteous Eats, you've been able to do some traveling and highlight places in other cities around the country and around the world.
Right.
Is what city, because obviously New York's number one.
Yeah.
What city would be your number two, food-wise?
Food-wise, it's a great question. I think, fuck, man.
You're just
So many great
you're in
places.
Portland, Oregon. You're in Seoul.
Yeah. I think, just in the United States, if there's a second.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, okay, just in the United States,
We'll do
definitely.
domestic, then international.
Domestically, LA.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Sorry that it kind of was a bummer, but I would put Portland up there.
Okay.
Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, Portland,
Maine.
Oregon. Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
No disrespect to Maine, but yeah, Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, those Nike employees
You
are
know what I
fucking
mean?
love their Korean tacos.
Yeah. Portland, Oregon. And I would say, Philadelphia, bro.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is highly underrated.
Okay.
I would actually say that Philly, in certain categories, have better quality food than New York City.
Is that because it's cheaper and people can take?
Nah,
more risks?
it's really because, actually, I think that's actually a good point. In terms of Vietnamese food, Philly trumps New York
Damn. All right.
out the park. You know what I mean? Way better pho in Philly. I would even argue some of the Italian classics, like, red sauce classics in Philly. Incredible stuff over there, man. So Philly is highly underrated.
Sixth borough.
You know what I mean? In terms of internationally, you know what I think, bro? Like, and this is part of the reason why I went to Italy, about a month ago. My favorite meal in Paris earlier this year was this Korean blood sausage soup called sundaekguk.
Damn.
In Paris. That was my favorite meal this year. Now, the French might be like, yo, man, that's the fuck you talking about? You know what I mean? This is like where modern culinary art started, and how dare you say that about Paris? But like, these third cultures are no longer just synonymous with cities like New York anymore. Like, you go to Milan, you go to Paris, you go to London. The British claim curry as like their national dish.
Yeah.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
they claimed a lot.
They claimed a lot. Yes.
It comes with the territory.
So I think that, these, is no longer like, you go to Paris, just to eat like steak and frites. You know what I mean? Like, you could go to Paris and eat great Korean food.
Dude, the best meal, we were just there. The best meal we had in Paris was from, it was like a West African
100%,
restaurant with like
yeah.
Senegalese and
It was
Cameroonian
incredible,
food,
bro.
and Cote d'Ivoire was fucking gas.
Exactly. Like,
Blew our
there's
fucking
a
croissants off.
there's a small city off 12 miles away from Florence called Prato. So
Yeah.
Prato, Italy has the biggest Chinatown in Europe.
Oh shit.
And the crazy story about that neighborhood is that's the hub for fast fashion in Italy. But all the neighboring cities, they create leather goods, outerwear, and so on and so forth. So what it is that you'll be surprised that a lot of made in Italy could very possibly be made by a Chinese immigrant who lives in Tuscany.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the modern world that we live in.
Do you think that the Chinese invented pasta?
I think that they definitely were nice with the noodles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I don't know if they could. Chinese folks, they like to claim a lot of things. You know what I mean? But I could go on and on about this shit, man, because they didn't have a singular Chinese identity until like a couple thousand years ago.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 2,000 years ago.
It's a
And
big
then,
ass country, bro.
You don't want to say too much. You don't want to ding your TikTok algo.
yeah, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna get banned even more on TikTok.
Yeah. Well, look, you're earning power, you're earning clout, you're earning recognition. And here in New York, we're currently going through a mayoral crisis of sorts.
Yeah.
If you, Jaeki Cho, in a special referendum were appointed, maybe elected mayor of New York City, what would your first executive order be?
First of all, I would hate that. You know?
Okay.
I would hate that.
Say
you know what I
no,
mean?
thank you.
Yeah. I'll be like,
Thanks, but no thanks.
I'm good. I'm good. But yeah, but if I do get to not withhold, but be able to be in that position, I think the first thing that I would do is I would push for an agency, a city agency that oversees and support street vendors.
Mhm.
You know,
It's very tenuous for them.
yeah, yo, like think about it, bro.
Yes.
Like, you know, I work very closely with this nonprofit called Street Vendor Project. You know, they do
Right.
advocacy rights for street vendors. And I recently just on Tuesday, they did their third gala and then they gave me an award for supporting them
nice.
throughout the years. So what I've learned is that there's a finite number of permits for these street vendors to vend, you know, food and whatnot. And some of them are grandfathered in. So it's kind of like the medallion, right?
Yeah.
So
Literally
they're
say
like
exactly like
leasing
cabs.
this shit out.
Yeah.
You know, so some of these vendors, they're paying $10,000 to $20,000 a year, where every 2 years to lease these vending licenses. You know what I mean? But there isn't a city agency that actually oversees or provides support.
You
for them.
don't say.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, shocker.
yet, yo, like street vending has been a part of the fabric of New York City for more than a century, right? Like when the Italian and Jewish immigrants were here in the early 20th century, there were vendors then.
Yeah.
They probably had 5,000 vendors then. Now they probably have 15,000 vendors. How the fuck does it make sense that these are all small business owners, yet they don't have an agency
Right.
that supports and provides needs for them?
They need representation.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know why. I'm sure there's, you know, reasons that,
I can think of some green reasons, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but, you know, I really hope that there is some sort of a support for them.
Do you think we're gonna get that anytime, like in our lifetime, or do you think it's just fucking
Hopefully in our lifetime. But then again, you know, like with what's happening globally, the geopolitics of it all, like who knows, man, we might not even be alive tomorrow. So
Yeah. We need Big Glizzy to step in and be like, yo,
Yo.
time
Yeah.
to push our
I
fucking
mean, what
weight
about
up.
you guys, man? I mean, if you guys, you know, become
Ugh.
interim mayor,
I was talking about this on a podcast a few weeks ago, but I think if you're in your 20s and you're moving to New York to jumpstart your career, and you're coming from a middle class and up class of life, you have to take a test before you move to New York,
whoa.
like a driver's test. But it's like how to walk down the street with an umbrella, you know, how to fucking drive here, how to jaywalk, stuff like that.
So that would be your protocol.
Yeah, and then I would probably implement the Chinese social capital system of like all CCTV. You know, if you're spotted,
Surveillance state?
yeah, if you're spotted like blocking the train subway, like you're not allowed on the train for a week.
Yeah.
God
Like
damn.
the train door. I mean, yeah.
I'm simple. Just to get on my Mussolini shit, trains every 5 minutes max. That's it. That's all. Yo, if I walk down and I see 8 minutes, yo, someone's going to jail. Bro.
someone's losing their head. Well, that's a very hateful set of decrees. But let's turn to love for a second.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Yours is full of love. Ours
Yeah,
are full
yeah,
of
yeah.
hate. You recently got wifed up, betrothed. Congratulations.
Thank you, brother.
Food ultimately
Yeah,
is synonymous with love.
right.
With
Food is love.
it's intimate. It's erotic. We put it in our bodies.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Where did you and your wife eat on your first date?
We got that's funny. I don't even know if she considers it a date.
Oh, word.
But so the story goes, I met this young lady through her best friend. She was the maid of honor at the wedding. And it wasn't a date. You know, we just hung out with, I just hung out with her friend.
A group hang.
Yeah, it was a hang. And then like I did a party at this spot called Fat Buddha. You know where it is, you know what I mean?
Meatpacking,
So
right?
yeah. No, bro. It's in the East Village. It's right by Startown, actually.
Really?
Yeah, on 12th Street and Avenue A.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm slipping.
yeah, you kind of got your Asian
You're
card
thinking
revoked.
of Pink Elephant, dog.
Yeah.
I'm
So
thinking of Monkey Bar. I'm thinking of Monkey Bar.
yeah, it could have been Fat Jesus, but they called it Fat Buddha. So I did a party over there. I think like 2011.
Okay.
She pulled up with this friend of hers, and like young, single, Jaeki, early 20s, was outside.
He's a weapon.
You know what I mean? Just try to holler, and then we exchanged contacts, and then I went to Korea, and then I worked for an ad agency for like 7 months.
Oh, damn.
So I wasn't even keeping in touch with her like that. And then I came back to New York, and there was a theater near Lincoln Center that used to play all these art house films and shit, like in the basement.
Okay.
They closed down, unfortunately. And then they were playing Jiro Dreams of Sushi. So I really wanted to go see this flick. And, I hit her up. I was like, yo, you trying to peep the details on this shit? real quick, and Shorty was late.
Is that what you said to her?
Peep the details on Giro, dude.
on some detail. Yeah, like I think along those lines.
You're playing it cool. You're playing it cool. I get it. Dude.
I was like, yo, let's peep the details on this. And
Hey, yo, Shorty.
hey, yo, Ma, what's going on?
Yo, you want to peep the
Yo,
deets
Ma,
on my
you try
man
to see
Giro?
this omakase situation?
This is the Yo Ma era.
You know
of
what I
New York
mean?
City.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
thought you guys were going to a fancy omakase dinner, but you go to the movies,
yeah,
popcorn.
pretty much, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, like so she showed up late. She was late, so I missed that first screening, and then we ended up taking the other one.
Oh, she was mad late.
She was mad late, yo. Shorty was dumb late. She took a nap and shit. You know what I mean? So that's why she was late. Anyway,
And you're like, this is a keeper.
Yeah, she's the one.
so up until that point, I was like, all right, cool. This is gonna be the film. We gonna catch this shit, and it's gonna be a wrap. You know what I mean? But after we saw the film, we had a very good convo, and we were just walking down. I think it was like 8th Avenue or some shit, and then I remember I just copping her a slice of pizza, just
Like dollar slice?
just like a dollar slice or
Like
some
two
shit.
bros?
Yeah, like it was something along
Was
those
it a
lines.
test, like see how she reacts to?
Yo, so you know how in the Bronx Tale they talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
law of three?
Yeah.
Like my law of three, is Shorty has to enjoy walking.
Okay.
You
Get
know
her
what I mean?
steps in.
Yeah, she got to get her steps in. If Shorty's like, yo, like we got to hop a Uber.
Nah,
I don't know, ma.
Big
like,
steppers
you know what I'm
only.
saying? Like, yo, 10,000 steps a day, no matter what, baby.
Yeah.
So Shorty has to walk a lot.
Trying to walk a marathon.
And they need to be open to different types of food. So
Okay.
like they need to have an amiable palate. Like, you know what I mean? Yo, sometimes we could go to, 11 Madison Park, but
Right.
yo, you down to get this dollar slice?
Right.
Yo, they're mutually,
Yeah.
so you gotta respect both. And then the third thing is, yo, you gotta be into some sort of culture, like some sort of subculture, some sort of art.
Okay.
And like she fit all those criteria.
But box one that she checked was, yo, she fucked dollar slices. All right,
100,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was it.
Nothing fancy.
She's not too bougie.
She's not too
Right.
bougie,
Well, when you are feeling bougie, maybe, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
now that it's official. Now that you hollered at Ma and Ma hollered back, what's the spot you're taking wifey out to on date night these days?
A date night. Yo, and you've been in a relationship long,
Yes, sir.
right? So how does your date nights look like? I want to get your thoughts.
Shit, dude. We don't have any kids, so it can be whatever we want.
Right.
It depends how we're feeling. That is it like an alcohol forward date? Is it about like a place that we've been trying to secure a res for a long time? So for me, it's without having kids, bro. In this city, the world is your oyster, no pun intended. So for me, it's like however we're feeling that day, or if that person really wants to try something, it's like whatever you want.
And what's categorized as a date?
Spending time with that person.
So like, let's say if you go to a Kennedy Fried Chicken
Ooh,
on Nostrand,
ooh,
you know what I
delicious.
mean? And
We get that delivered.
okay, so is that a date?
No.
Okay,
You got to be out. You can have a date at home.
Right.
People do that. But nah.
so do you have to dress up? Like, does she have to have the
I think
butterflies?
we like to dress up.
Right,
I think that only makes it more special.
right,
They got to
it
take
doesn't need
pictures
to
of each
be-
other.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be suit, dress, Frenchette. It
right.
doesn't need to be that.
Yeah. So yeah, like early in our relationship, like one of our favorite spots to hit up was Big Wong. That sounds crazy.
hell yeah. Yeah, brother.
Yo.
Big Wong
And
on
the
my
kitchen's
street.
open 24/7.
You know what I
my
mean?
guy.
You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
ducks just hanging on the window.
In them guts.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, one of our favorite spots was Big Wong. Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy.
That's a banger ass
Yeah,
name.
that's a banging name, yo. Word up.
Word
But
to
yeah,
Big Wong.
like I think now I don't even know where we go anymore, bro. Like is like I think the last time that we had like a romantic outing was that's a very tough question. I'm
Do you have any on the
fucking this
list
up.
of like, would you want to go like the grill or like fucking Le Veau d'Or or whatever? Like, do you fuck with fancy bougie restaurants
I
yourself?
do. I actually do, but I also feel like, is it necessary?
No, not at all.
You know what I mean?
Not-
yeah,
no,
like so
Never know.
I'm like blanking out right now.
Maybe
so
it's it's the Chingon burrito.
Yeah.
You know,
It
It's
is.
just like you
It
keep
could be
go
that.
to your local
Yeah.
spot.
Let me ask you a question that might serve your memory better. Yo, what was on the menu at your wedding?
we actually did it at Fish Cheeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like combination of a lot of things. You know what I mean? I love everything that team does.
You love fish. You love
I
cheeks.
love cheeks.
Yo.
I love fish. I love Thai people. You know what I mean?
Happiest people on earth.
You know what I mean? So we did it at Fish Cheeks, and yeah, man, the show was incredible. It was on Bond Street.
Right.
You know, like my wife's office is across the street,
Oh, easy.
and then her.
She should have a better work-life balance, baby.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
I gotta pop and answer some emails real quick.
When you got a meeting at 5 and a wedding at 7.
Pretty much. Yeah,
You wear the cashmere.
Literally, yeah. The store is down the block. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like it was chill.
Whole squad ensconced.
I think like one of the first actually, like I would say like it wasn't romantic necessarily, but it was like a bill that I remember in my early 20s that I was like, yo, this shit is a little bit out of my usual budget.
Sure.
Was when I took her to I think it was like El Buco.
Okay.
You know, it was like an Italian joint. And, you know,
Yo.
again, like in your early 20s, you're like, damn, like this fucking like cacio e pepe is like $35. Like, damn, this shit crazy.
Full circle moment. So we sent the fit pic to our group chat for our socials guys to have and everything. And one of our former groms says, yo, saw him at the Il Buco pig roast. Unsure if he was there or just walking by.
Oh, that was actually my wedding day.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Cause it was like El Buco was having like their 30th anniversary or something. It was popping.
Oh, so
And
that's
then,
beautiful.
Like, yeah, it was on September 22nd.
Full
and
circle.
then like I was moving back and forth, like
Sure,
picking shit up from the web, bringing it to the office where she was changing and all that. And then, you know, a bunch of people hanging out outside were like, oh shit, you the fucking Righteous Eats guy. And I was like, yeah,
I'm getting married.
and
dog.
I'm getting married, dog. You know what I mean?
I ain't got time for a picture. Well, from your days of cacio e pepe costing $35, kind of freaking you out to, you know, now just casually throwing a pig roast type wedding. Jaeki, how much money do you make?
That's a good question. Me as an individual, I don't make much.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But as you know, like if you're asking me, like what's the top line for Righteous Eats
Right.
or, you know,
What's
our
the
holding
gross?
company, you know, I think we're doing okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think we're doing okay.
Good.
I mean, we're able to sustain an office. We work, but you know, we're able to sustain an
Forward
office.
momentum, my
Yeah,
guy,
we're
right?
able to. I'm able to pay rent.
Yeah. You own
You know,
25 of these hats.
I own a lot of hats. I own
Wear a lot of hats too.
I wear a lot of hats. I get to eat what I want.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I get to take Ubers when I need to.
Right.
So I think
Once you get your 10,000 steps, naturally.
100,000. You know,
Yeah.
so I think in New York City, again, like they say, what New York has the highest concentration of millionaires in the U.S.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably like 57th Street.
So considering that, like, this is a city that has a lot of people with a lot of wealth, I think I'm able to sustain a living and a lifestyle that I'm pretty happy with right now with no kids.
Right.
So yeah, that's where I'm at.
One on-running shoe after another. We're just fucking moving
Pretty
forward.
much just
That's
going
it.
through it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
100%. 100,000.
Besides investing back into Righteous Eats, and besides food, what, and you know, from your meager salary, what do you like to spend your money on?
Let me ask y'all, like, what do you guys spend your money on?
Clothes. My
food.
dog.
Like,
my
what's
wife.
your average spend on clothes? Like, if you have like a pie chart, how much of your income goes to fits?
Too much. Too much.
I would be
50%?
No,
No.
come on, dog.
Like 30?
No. Yeah.
25?
I would say like a
20 to-
third would be like crazy.
20 to
a big
30.
year.
It depends on the month too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go weeks without buying anything.
Mhm.
Right.
Sometimes I hit a manic moment and I'm just opening packages Monday through Friday.
So are you like
We get a lot. We're blessed enough to also get a lot of free
that's
shit.
what I mean. So y'all
Honestly,
probably
I
get
think
a lot of
too much.
Money
Too
spent.
much.
It's on Ubers and it's on like eating at restaurants.
100%. Yeah, I think it's similar for me as well. Like I also like to buy people meals.
Sure.
Oh, nice.
You're
You know what I mean?
generous.
Well, I think, you know, certain people express their love language in different ways,
Sure.
right? Like, so there's like, you know, words of encouragement,
Right.
you know, spending
Affirmation.
time together, affirmation,
Physical touch.
physical touch. Yes.
I'm just
I-
trying to touch the cashmere.
I like to treat people to meals.
Hey man, you should
You
take
know
us
what
out
I
to
mean?
dinner sometime.
I would love to.
Yo, we're
I'm
available.
dead ass.
Let's go
I
to
would
Coke
love
Dog.
to.
Change my mind.
I would love
yo,
to.
Change my
honestly,
fucking
yeah.
mind.
And then you can pick our brain.
I would love to. Yeah.
Well, Jaeki,
Maybe not Coco Doc, but you know,
Okay.
yeah, right.
KFC, the
No, Kenny Fried
Kenny
Chicken.
Fried Chicken.
yeah,
Kenny
Fried
more
Chicken.
peppers.
Yeah.
Peppers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
OG
true.
spot. Before we get you out of here, and you take us out for a meal, we want to ask you one last question
Yeah.
after an hour 40 or so
God damn.
hanging with the goddamn motherfucking boys. I know this ain't no TikTok video.
It's not.
Do you have any constructive criticism you'd like to give us?
Constructive criticism. Huh.
Yeah, just based on your experience there.
Just based on my experience.
Feeling us out, catching a
Yeah.
vibe. I don't know. Hit us with some darts, dog.
I think y'all should definitely communicate prior on what y'all gonna be wearing.
Normally we do.
You know what
Normally
I
we
mean?
do.
Damn, dude.
Yeah,
Normally
yeah.
we do.
Honestly,
I didn't know he was going to a rave later. That's,
You know what I mean? I feel like the silhouette, if I'm just looking at it from the shadow, it would be very similar.
We both are wearing loafers,
Yeah.
jeans, and soccer kits.
I know. And the
hats.
hats have a very similar silhouette. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So maybe
tends to happen.
y'all need to communicate a little more.
Normally,
TFFC.
Normally we do because we have a lot of the same clothes because usually we get, shit sent us and they're just like, hey, here's one for you, here's one for you. And so if I'm wearing something that we call them Common Johns, I'll be like, yo, are you wearing the whatever, like the XYZ? And he's like, nah, go for it. Or he's like, actually, I'm already at the house. I'm wearing the X. I'm like, all right, fuck, I got to go change.
Yeah.
Right.
So normally we do.
This
So
is more of
very
a
astute-
thematic embarrassment, if
Yeah.
anything, I
Yeah.
would say.
Nah, but yo, to be honest, man, like I'm just gonna say, like, yo, I'm genuinely I didn't do a whole lot of research coming in here on the empire that y'all building. Nah, I'm dead ass. Like, this is incredible stuff. I mean,
Thank
yo, how
you.
many people get to say that, yo, I left my, quasi lovable media job and built my own
Ain't no quasi.
media company.
And started
Well,
the podcast. Actually, a lot
Starting
of
a podcast,
but
and now you guys have enough success to build a living and a lifestyle
Yeah.
in New York City.
True.
I mean, yo, you guys are killing it, man.
Hashtag
you.
blessed, baby. Thank you.
And on top of that, y'all get 50% of your revenue from platform. Dog.
33%.
Okay. But still, that shit is incredible, man.
Thank
like,
you.
I really
Thank
give
you,
it up
dude.
for
That
you.
means a lot to hear.
You know what I
Appreciate it.
mean?
That's righteous of you, bro.
Yeah.
Listen,
Speaking of
man.
which, Jaeki, where can the kids follow you?
Yeah.
What would you like to plug? The
Go
floor
off.
is yours.
Yeah, Righteous Eats on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And Jaeki Cho, that's the government, JAEKICHO on Instagram, TikTok. That's about it.
Do you care? Do you have a favorite social media platform?
I actually prefer Instagram just because I think with
For
TikTok,
the baddies on the Explore page?
my Explore page is mostly
Soup?
Yeah, there's a lot of soup actually.
Soup
Yeah,
and rice.
Yeah. It's soup and rice and clips of New Jeans. That's like my favorite.
Yeah.
That's my favorite K-pop group of all time. Shout out to New Jeans.
He's plugging new jeans, dude. I love that.
Follow New Jeans.
Yeah.
follow New Jeans.
Yo, what's up with the Korean cheerleaders at baseball games on TikTok? You seen that?
I saw a glimpse of it, but I see them in real life, dog. You know what I mean? I go
like
to
at
Korea.
baseball games.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
go to
yeah,
Korea and I check them out at the baseball games.
thought
We
it
should
meant-
go together.
Thought you were
I'd
talking
love
about
to.
like your fans.
Yeah, nah,
Korean
bro.
cheerleaders.
Nah,
Yeah.
unfortunately, no. I love my fans, but you know,
Let's get some
they're not
cheerleaders on Righteous Seats. All right, Jaeki, thank you for coming
Appreciate
on
your
to
time, bro.
the only podcast that matters. Chef, take us out.